everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about the refinement and how to best utilize it. Now, before we get started on the refinement and which all attributes are more useful being in refinement, let's talk about the source of the rough material which is needed to progress in the refinement. So, the primary and free of cost way of obtaining refined ore material is Expedition Beyond. Now, inside Expedition Beyond, we have 5 different stages. The very first one, as expected, is quite easy. The last one, called the Nightmare stage, is pretty hard to clear. So, the trick here is to not directly try to level up every time you try the Expedition Beyond, because the higher stages are difficult to clear, and unless you have some paid commanders or highly awakened and advanced commanders, it's not advisable to directly go for the nightmare level or higher level. Instead, working constantly on the lower level, one step lower, maybe at the expert level in Expedition Beyond, would be more advisable, more beneficial, because you don't want to start a level which you can't completely complete. All right, so now having the understanding of what is the source of the refined ore or refined rough, now the second question which comes to our mind is which attributes are best valued in refinement. Now here, as we can see in under all attributes tab, there are total 32 attributes which can be obtained under refinement. So the real question here is which one out of all these 32 are the best valued. Now, to begin with, it depends on what level you are playing at, what is your requirement. For example, if someone is aiming to get to level up in power, who wants to reach 1.5 billion, for example, for him or her, training speed would be more beneficial. For someone who is still in the building phase and doing lots of researches for unlocking T-Force or maximizing any other research tree, for him or her, research speed would be more advisable. If you are having an alt or a farm where you are just building lots of buildings, like creating a farm, then building speed would be advisable. So in this video, I'm not going to talk entirely about people who are already well settled and have completely maxed their refinement already, because to be honest, at that phase you are well aware of what you want. So I'm going to focus the video on people who are still building their cities, building their castles, and they are not 100% sure which attributes are the best attributes. Okay, so the very first attribute which I want to talk about is the army size. I personally believe army size is the best thing to have in the refinement. The reason is, as you can see, the very first lot here, it is maxed, and I'm getting 30,000 army size from this one slot. So if I can get army size on the second one also, I have army size. In the third one I have, but it's not max, so it is giving 16,000. In totality, I'm getting 142k army size from refinement itself. Now the best part about it is when we use army size buff from the sept, then this 142k army which I'm getting from the refinement, it gets increased accordingly. So that means if you're having 142k army size in refinement, if you use 50% army buff, that means you are getting additional 71k army size. So that is quite beneficial. So I personally would say that having army size in the refinement is very amazing thing to have. This is something which you would not want to re-roll. For example, I have army size here. I'm never going to use this button to re-roll it. I won't. The next attribute which I believe is again really nice for people who are building their castles is the motivation recovery bonus. Now the thing about motivation recovery bonus is, let's say you don't have anything in motivation recovery bonus in refinement. Without motivation recovery in refinement, the motivation actually recovered on your account would be pretty low. But if you can have around 120 150% of motivation recovery, it will enable you to hit more rebels per day, and eventually it will also help you to improve your gear. Now if you are willing to have PvP, then this is the Royal Kings card set which definitely you want to improve as much as possible. As you can see, I'm still in working on this account, it's still not maximized. So in order to get this Royal Kings card set to gold, you need to work on three different gears first. First one is Storm's Rage, second one is Sun Spear, and the third one is Frost set. So if you have more motivation recovery, that means you have more motivation, that means you can kill more rebels, and that means your gear improves faster. And let's not forget the fact that your alliance, you yourself get more gifts. That means more speed ups, more diamonds, more resources. So overall, having motivation recovery in the refinement not just helps you, it also helps your whole alliance. Now next attribute which I believe is extremely useful is total attack. Now total attack is something which boosts your entire army. So this is, I believe, one of the most rare attribute to get in refinement. So just in case if you have it, I would never ever touch this button, never reroll it, because getting total attack is super hard. Then another attribute which I believe is useful for you in the refinement is your troop type. Whichever troop type you are playing, its attack is quite useful in the refinement. So on this account I play cav and spear formation. Apparently you can see that I have cav attack and spear attack. Now having cav, spear or inf attack in the refinement, how good is that? So that is something which we can see from here. So as you can see, for spears, the attack attribute is higher than health and defense. As you can see, cav attack is 115, health 85 and defense 57, which means for spear we attack attribute is comparatively quite high compared to health and defense. Similarly for cavalry also, you can see attack is higher than health and defense. But in case of infantry, we see cav and health does not have a big difference. Defense is lower. For example, we get 40% spear attack in refinement and 40% spear defense in refinement. Then having 40% spear attack would be more useful to us than the defense. Similarly, having spear health will not be that useful, but in case of infantry, as we can see, health and attack attributes are not much different. So yes, for that you can have cav inf health and inf attack as well. Now if we talk about bows have the best attack attribute, best value, but the problem with them is that their speed is too low, which means when the battle starts they are the last one to join. And when we attack someone, when we are on offensive mode, then bows are slightly slower, which means they get less chance to fight or less chance to attack. Now this is a disadvantage with bows, but when we are defending, when anyone tries to attack our castle, then while they are dealing with the wall, our bows can deal quite a lot of damage to their troops, to their front line. If it is inf, cav or spear, doesn't matter. So in that manner, for defense, bows are really good. And nowadays, well, many people are playing full bow accounts, so having bow attack or bow health and even bow defense in refinement is not a very strange thing, to be honest. But for now I will focus on inf, cav and spear. So as we have seen that having spear attack or cav attack is more valuable than having cav health or spear health. Endurance recovery I do not believe is really important, but if in case you are working on your second dragon, you want lots of mark of dragon, as on this account as well, my second dragon is not maxed, it's still on level 55. I need lots of shadow essence on this account. So now the connection here is that if you want shadow essence, you can get it from the merchant. Now the source is mark of the true dragon, and how to obtain more mark of the true dragon? By doing dragon rallies. Now if you wish to do dragon rallies, you need endurance. So for that purpose, well, maybe you can have endurance recovery as well. Total attack, or in general total attributes, are the best attributes for PvP because they benefit your entire army. Now there are few attributes which, well, are just of hardly any use. So for example, the one which I have right now is wall defense increased by 8.4%. Now, okay, here it is. Wall defense increased 8.4%. Now this is something which is of no use to me, to be honest. Now the thing is, we can re-roll it. Now the trick here is to know when to stop. For example, I start re-rolling. Let's see what I'm getting. I'm getting research speed here. Now if I wish to do lots of researches, I should stop here now, but no, I don't want to. Bowman attack, I don't play bows. Then going ahead. Now as you can see, I have reached a point where I have got motivation recovery bonus. Now the best thing about one more point about motivation recovery bonus is that it's very easy to get it. Now enemy total attack reduction, enemy total health reduction, and enemy total defense reduction. Now these are the three attributes which help you to deduct enemy attributes. So for example, if someone comes at me with, let's say, 400% total attack and he tries to hit me, with the help of this attribute and the fact that I have 70% approx here in the refinement, out of his 400%, 70% would be deducted, and that leaves him with only 330% total attack. Now which is a big difference. 70% total attack is a big difference. If you have 8 total enemy total attack reductions in all the slots, and they're all maxed, then it can reach to the maximum amount to 120%. If anyone attacks you with around 400 to 500 total attack range, it's really nice to remove directly 120% of his total attack. But at one level, when you reach a castle level, when you are being targeted by people who have total attack in the range of let's say 800 or even 900, I'm not honestly sure if having 120% total attack reduction is still the best way to go. Now this is something which is personal point of view, to be honest. People have different opinions, they have their own opinion. In my opinion, if you do not have high percentage of enemy total attack reduction, I mean refinement is just one of the sources. If you do not get enemy total attack reduction, or ETAR in abbreviated form, if you don't get ETA from other sources, then just 120% or even 200% might not be enough. Instead, I would suggest that having ETA here consumes one slot. So let's say the best option is, I have army size, I have ETA, I have cav attack, and let's say in the last fourth, instead of motivation recovery, I have total attack. So what I can do is, instead of having ETAR here, if I get spear attack, that means I'm buffing my first line as well, and I'm also buffing the second line. So 40% cav attack, 40% spear attack, and I am getting 15% total attack as well. I personally believe that that would give my troops a better chance to stand off that attack rather than trying to reduce his 15% TA. I can go 40% of my front line or the second line. But it's debatable, as I said, so not entirely sure which way you want to go. A lot depends upon the server you are sitting on, who you are exactly going up against, what's your personal stats looks like, or who is the one actually attacking you. All in all, I believe that the best attributes to have in refinement would be motivation recovery bonus, and still the number one remains to be army size. That is still the best thing to get from refinement. Then having troop type attack, whichever troop you are playing in cav or spear, that always is a good thing to do. Total attack, health or defense, well, total attack should be the priority as always. And having enemy total attack reduction in the initial phase of your castle building is pretty good. Throughout the video, I believe I have tried to target the low to mid tier accounts, so I believe having research speed in refinement would also be a great thing to have. And hospital healing speed, well, this is something which I have not seen many people use it very frequently, but some people who are participating in alliance conquest, especially during alliance conquest times, if you are a part of a big alliance and your role is to fill the rallies, you are not supposed to initiate the rally or be the rally leader, then you can have hospital healing speed as well, so as to optimize the healing speed ups which we are getting from the event, to be able to heal more, to be able to keep healing and providing your troops for the event, for the game. Mostly during alliance conquest or ultimate conquest, I have seen people use hospital healing speed, and I believe that it's a good practice. To be honest, it helps your alliance if you can keep healing at a lower cost, save speed ups at the same time, and keep renewing the troops. I believe working on refinement in a better way can always help your account much better way. Another good thing about refinement is that as your priority changes, as your requirement changes, you can change it. For example, if you want to balloon up to 1.5 billion, surely you can have 8 training speeds in all the 8 slots. Once it's done, you don't need it anymore. You can just simply step it down, replace it with any troop type attack, or maybe motivation recovery or anything else. So alright guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope it helps you. Cheers.